Yo.
Yo.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Well, just still eating breakfast.
Nice. Yeah, I think same kind of deal. I'm drinking my first cup of coffee.
My first time missing the builders meeting. I'm glad there is a recording.
Yeah, me too. I know we got Fury working on doing recordings now, which is really good. Definitely looking forward to having more recordings and stuff on YouTube, so we can kind of go through that. I need to figure out how to get the overlay going, all that fun stuff. It seems like he actually knows OBS better than I do, even though I've used it a few times, which is cool. It's good, man. I think I'm live right now. I think we are live. Let me check. Yeah, we are live. I've got an agenda going here as well. Let's see. I'm not able to meet or run this meeting next week. Be traveling at that time, but I will be. I've got Fury to cover, so I'll set preset agenda stuff, and if you guys want to add stuff to the agenda, you're more than welcome to. I think it's open to anybody to add things, which might be not great, but I guess I'll just do it anyways, at least a comment. Anybody can comment on it. Alright. We'll wait another minute or two, and then we'll kind of get into things. But yeah, it seemed like a pretty short and sweet builders meeting. We can talk about an update in a minute if we get anybody who was at it to come in. Otherwise, I can kind of talk about the recording because I did watch it. Okay. Yeah, might as well just get started and do some opening remarks here. I just want to, thank all the community members for all the awesome feedback that, I received from them throughout the entire first year of the Genesis Council. I really, really appreciated the kind of support and willingness for people to participate, and it took a whole village to help shape the initial governance here. And I know it was it actually goes a lot faster than you think. It was a long year, but definitely went somewhat quick. By the end of it, I forgot that we were almost done. So yesterday was the final Genesis Council meeting. I think that went really well. I think that the next council's got a lot of really awesome ideas for improving the governance structure and continuing to learn and grow and build out Voy. So you and I were not going anywhere. We're actually kind of dug in even further, I think, than we were ever before. So definitely excited about the future of my role within the Voy ecosystem. That's no longer, being a council member. I think, there's lots of opportunities to continue to build and and there's lots of needs for it as well. So definitely super excited about all the future that is still to come here. Awesome. I think I kind of covered at least the first announcement, the final Genesis. Council meeting was yesterday, so we are no longer the Genesis Council, the folks that were selected by the Block Authority are no longer council members. We're in a little bit of a limbo for the next, 12 hours, 13 hours or so. We've got the elections actually closing tonight. And let's take a quick look here at, where we stand with these elections. It's just loading the blockchain data at the moment. So there have been, 30 total voters, and at the moment, we've got Roof, Skotchka, Nuss, Bogan, Yayo are in the top five there, with Thorpe and Combs in 6, 7. They both have 10 votes each. So it's going to be interesting to see. I don't think, who knows, maybe there will be another 30 votes that come in or more. I think that's something we could discuss during the open discussion if anybody wants to come up and kind of chat about it or whatever. And it looks like we got Thorpe that wants to come up and speak. We're gonna let Thorpe up here. But yeah, I think overall this was the kind of test run for on-chain voting and on-chain governance here. There's a lot more to come with it. I know Shelley and I have been working on, doing some other voting structures for the council to be able to vote on proposals and having some on-chain governance. I know there were some questions earlier in the week that we could probably talk about it during open discussion as well about just the storage of the applications and all that fun stuff. And I know, Shelley, you've got some ideas around that. I don't know if you're how far along you are in kind of ideating and thinking about that stuff, but we can, if you want to, we can talk about it later. I don't mean to put you on the spot or anything. But yeah, so council elections are closing tonight at midnight. Get your final votes in. It'd be fun to see some more people out there voting. I think about 30 is a decent turnout. Wish there was more, but it's pretty good for the first run of it. We can talk a little bit quickly about some of the builders meeting updates. I know there were a couple, I think it was just Chris, Ludo, and Zarmian up there earlier. We do have a live stream available for it on the Void Community Videos live stream, so feel free to go check that out. There were conversations a little bit about House of Void, and if Chris ends up showing up here, we can do a quick HOV update. If not, it's obviously not my project, so I'm not sure if we'll be able to give it any justice here. There was also conversations about Ludo doing something with the bridge. I'm not exactly sure exactly what he was talking about, but something about the unit bridging, and then there were some updates from Zarmian about the Void wallet. And since he's not here, I did have it on the agenda to chat about, but the Void wallet is now approved on the Google Play Store and iOS. I don't think it's in test flight anymore. It's actually live in the iOS store. And he pushed another fresh update yesterday. So there's been some updates on the iOS side of things to increase usability and allow for folks to use Void on Apple devices. So super exciting for that. Definitely looking forward to giving this update a go. I actually downloaded it and have been kind of tinkering around with it yesterday and the day before. So super excited about the ability to have a mobile wallet. And I know that Taco would be very happy at this point if he was still active in the ecosystem. But yeah, I'll talk really quickly about a Dorkify update. So we had a meeting with the audit team last week. The meeting went really well. There are still a couple of things that our audit team, which is Enersoft, needs to do on their end to continue to kind of verify and run through the audit itself. So things are looking good. We've got Shelly's been working on the beta side of things as well. So been kind of messing around with some of the beta capabilities, and I know that there'll be a beta version of it at some point here soon for people to kind of play around with and start to get a feel for and provide feedback for us to be able to improve any UX design or any of that stuff. So looking forward to that and to once we get the audit all completed, going live, on mainnet for Void and Algorand. So super excited about all the things we've been working on with Dorkify. And Aramid, I know Ludo is not in the house right now, so we'll skip over that one. HOV, we'll kind of skip over that for now. Twitter update, I don't know if Ruth wants to come up and chat a little bit about how Twitter's going. But yeah, Thorpe, since we've kind of run through the announcements and communications, feel free to jump in and you got any questions or thoughts or things you want to talk about in the open discussion.
Hey, good morning, guys. Just tuning in to hear what's going on, some updates, saw the notification for the community meeting here, so thought I'd jump up and say hello and whatnot. I have downloaded the Void Wallet app. I just need to import my keys. I'm just not at home right now, so I need to cast my vote. I know he said midnight. That'd be midnight your time, right?
Yeah, I think we're in the same.
It's like 9:30.
I think we're in the same time zone.
Yeah, it's 9:13 right now. I think I might be one of them later, so I can cast a vote.
Cool. I think if I'm not mistaken, it might be like midnight Mountain Time. Is that right, Shelly? Is it midnight Mountain Time or midnight Pacific?
Yeah, is it GMT or PST?
Let's see, are we talking about end of election?
Yep.
Yeah.
I believe it is the 16th at midnight, so 000 on the 16th UTC, whatever time that is. So it's 13 hours and 45 minutes. You know, if you can move a mountain, you can make things happen.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I was going to get my keys imported to the wallet and vote, so I'll be able to cast my two votes.
Yeah, that sounds good. You know, it's not over until the back 86.
No, for sure. I've been pretty busy IRL lately, so I've just been trying to find the time to cast my vote. My freaking computer freaking crapped out on me, so I just got to import my keys to my mobile. My laptop crap. Girlfriend got me a new computer for my freaking birthday, so I just got to be setting that and shit. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Nice.
Yeah, awesome guys. No, thanks for having me up. I'm just kind of hanging out right now. Wasn't anybody into the conversation joining too, at least.
Still
coffee?
early early for us West Coasters.
For sure.
Yeah. I know the mobile wallet is pretty slick too. I really like the way the NFTs are displayed in it. So definitely excited about having that available and making it a lot easier for and accessible for folks who are running around on their mobile devices to kind of get things done. So.
Definitely, it's going to make things easier to onboard for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm surprised that only picked like 30, there's only been like 30 votes though, like, out of what we have here in the Discord, right?
Yeah, totally. I think I'm a little surprised as well.
I was kind of hoping to see higher numbers there.
Yeah, totally. And I think that's kind of a great topic for discussion too. Is like how do we get more people to vote in the future? And part of it is probably some delegation and those types of things that I think, at least from my perspective, from like council voting and where we're at in terms of on-chain governance and just governance in general, I think it would make the most sense to just try to move away from having council members voting on proposals through straw poll and doing that all on chain through a governance portal very similar to this voting system. Because right now, the way that all the votes go, it happens all through kind of an application called straw poll, which is, I mean, it works. It worked all year, but it's not on chain, and it's not using folks or really transparent and probably not the most secure either. So I think the best
it also doesn't leave records, right? So like you can't unless you have the link, and you can't really go back and check.
Yeah.
So if we had like that process kind of moving forward, you can always go back and see how people voted, and that will I think it's not even something we're thinking about right now, but that might come into play when people start to consider how to rate the delegation.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a building block, and also just like something that would be, I think it'd be really straightforward, and I guess a big, immediate benefit, I think.
Yeah, totally. There's a problem that needs to be solved, and so I think that's like probably the best first step. I think. Let me rewind a second. The first step in on-chain governance was really getting this initial council voted on and doing that all on chain, and then kind of the next step there is to get voting for proposals on chain as well, and then the step after that is more like the delegation side of things, and they come in little building blocks here. So that's something that Shelley and I have kind of identified as an issue, and we are working on building out a solution for it. And I think most of it is probably already built, at least from the voting side of things. Just putting the pieces together at this point, and then getting folks to kind of come on and start to use it, which would start with this next council first, and getting them to start to use their council powers to really push proposals forward on chain.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to, working on that with the council, this next council, and definitely getting some of their feedback on how it's all going to go. I know that it was a conversation with Scotty a couple nights ago, I want to say maybe Monday night, where he was asking about, some of the storage for the proposals, and like how do we manage the documents? Will it all be on chain, and will there be some type of like IPFS integration that can just point to that stuff? So I know, Shelley, you really did get into kind of the nuts and bolts, the nitty gritty of how it all works with me the other day. Some of that stuck with me, and then some of it was a little bit, a little more technical than my full understanding of how it works, but would love to kind of hear what your thoughts are on it. If you want to talk about it, if not, it's all good. Not to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like there could be a mix of like it's kind of bumping close to like how much we want on chain, right? And like I think like at the very least we have, like ideally we have these references to something that is stored in, like a more appropriate location, like IPFS. But I think that like it might be like a good change would be like moving away from like, oh, this is the mutable document. We open up with this, and we make a lot of changes, and it's really hard to track, right? Because like when we were on the console body, you'd always wonder, like, did someone slip something in at the end? And I mean, we can check the Google the history, but it's yeah. I think we can structure it in a way where, like, everything is immutable and is additive. Like when things do change, and we can link them together in a just in the proposal process.
I think maybe it's like a section where it's an amendment that just like amends attaches what the change might be in a separate transaction.
Yeah, and I think one thing that really like came up, in the initial like governance platform design and everything, it was like the whole Google Forms, Google Doc process in like a glorified portal, right? And I think that's just I don't think that's necessary. And we can have like what we're working on, like moving forward, be something that we can, they can be happening at the same time. Like, I don't think we have to go cold, I don't know, is it cold turkey, and move from one to the other. So there'll be some overlap, and eventually you'll start to see less work being done in the current process. But yeah, I think leaning towards like immutable storage and just the amendments in the proposal versus like having like was a lot of, discussion back and forth, changing, and like in practice, that didn't really happen smoothly, right? Where we would kind of get stuck in a point where get stuck in, kind of waiting for the revisions, right? So I think, it is up to the new council to figure this, decide what how they like it to work. But yeah, I think
one thing that
I think there'll just be slots in the proposals where you can have those references, to immutable storage, right?
Totally.
Records, basically.
Totally makes a ton of sense to me, and I think another thing that I personally would like to see the council do is kind of simplify the different buckets of what types of proposals there are. So just like throw out 3 or 4 buckets and just like, okay, these are the types of proposals that we're looking for. It doesn't have to be like over complicated. I think that that's one thing that stifled some of the some of the progress throughout the year was somebody submitting a proposal and not knowing which type of proposal they should be submitting. So then it would take us on the council to work with Scotty or Nuss or someone like, and I think maybe you even felt that same way too.
Personally, it was actually pretty difficult to navigate a proposal of which type it was.
Yep.
For me, when I was putting in a proposal, I think we got kind of like a bit confused by the council on what the proposal actually was, because I put it in the wrong area. But if I was having issues with navigating like how to propose a proposal, I'm sure other people were as well.
Oh yeah, and even from a city council member who submitted some proposals, it was it was kind of complicated, and then different types of proposals have different requirements, and then somebody might get all the way through submitting and then realizing, oh wait a second, this is like not the right thing, and I don't know, some of the questions are a little less necessary as well, and that creates barriers to entry for folks, and also like creates more complexities for the admins, for the council members, and just like makes the process a little bit heavier lift. So really, I think they should be like maybe 4 buckets, and inside of those buckets you just have like a checkbox of like, hey, this thing is retroactive, this thing is more design or something, I don't know.
Simplification is definitely probably the way to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like kind of making it a bit easier to navigate for users, right?
No, I totally agree. I think we'll end up seeing more simplify the process, promote that we've simplified it, promote that there is a large amount of funding out there, and also I think that the council members need to kind of decide what types of proposals they're looking for, and maybe be a little bit more proactive about setting bounties for specific things that they want built, and maybe it's just a range. It's not like a specific number, but it's like a range, and you're like, hey, here's a bounty that we have. Here's some guidelines of like what it is that we're looking for. If you go build a prototype for this thing and then you present it to us, we, will award you this thing based on milestones, that type of thing. But I think that was missing this last year. Something that I kind of pushed for early on in our year, but at a certain point, I kind of stopped talking about it and was really focused on just getting through the proposals that were in front of me. And it didn't really hit me until later on that, like, wow, this process it's cumbersome for the council members, it's cumbersome for the submitters, and at first, the first thought is, okay, we kind of want it to be a little, a little difficult, because we don't want to make it super easy. It should be a little bit of a grind, because we want to like weed through some of the stuff that's not great. But I think now with the policy change of pre-screening, you kind of have the ability to go in and just kind of pre-screen these things, and then like that is the gauntlet there. It's like, all right, do we even want to like push this to the next stage where we're going to go do DD on it or not? Rather than like make it really difficult right up front for the proposer, and then weed people out that way. I think it's more like, all right, let's do it. Rather than making it difficult and creating barriers, let's just do a quick review. Is this something that we're willing to spend our intellectual time on and actually go through the due diligence process or not? So anyways, that would be my recommendation.
Yeah, I think like the main point there is like about like aims, like just looking at how it was managed before. I mean, just not managed, but the process. 80% of the time, well, just putting out a number, was done like kind of like, okay, we get something, we have to see it through like the whole way, and the same, even no matter how what's inside, right? But I think for the new council body, I think it would be, it would be like in the best interest of their time and everyone else's, if we could make those sort of decisions like really fast, right? Like in the beginning, like what Bagman said, quick review. It's like if you see something like odd that really sticks, it just it's not in the same room. You can pick that out and come up with like a reply, because anyone who's serious about like doing working on like developing on the boy, they'll go and do the pay attention to the details, but not like for example not for the people that they come to the wrong party, but yeah.
Those some very valid points, guys, for sure.
And it's great feedback to hear, from somebody who's submitted a proposal, kind of gone through the process as well. Like, all right, what are some of the holes on that side? Like I know from submitting on my side, and I also know from the council side what it was like. But I think what this does is it presents like a really great opportunity for the next council to kind of improve the process. And I think another thing that should be kind of top of mind for some of this next council group is setting some performance indicators on what it is that they want to see being built, and then also like, all right, here's some goals that we have for this next year, and like stating right up front, all right, goal is on-chain, full on-chain governance. Goal is, 50 proposal reviews, and 25% of them end up turning into, I don't know, some funding of some sort, and maybe they're like on the bucket, based on the buckets, like one in every 4 proposals that comes through in this needs to be high quality, and we should figure out a way to attract people to come and do this work. We didn't really have
right. We need more building.
Yeah, totally, exactly. So more builders, like what's the number there, and it doesn't necessarily need to be a number, because like things are somewhat subjective, and there's definitely areas that could be improved on that don't have an actual number to them. But I guess what I mean is at least set some heavy goals at the beginning for the council. I think that was like something that was also missing, was we didn't really have like a North Star, if you will, where we're like, okay, we want XYZ out of this ecosystem. Let's work towards that thing. It was pretty much like ad hoc. A proposal comes in, we do the evaluation, and everybody who's sitting on the council was focused on doing the due diligence, talking to the community, getting community feedback, and kind of pushing things forward that way. I think having some good KPIs to a North Star, if you will, to kind of march towards would be super beneficial in the long run for this next council. Chris, what's up, man? We're talking governance. How you doing?
Hey, Chris. Hello. Doing well.
Fantastic.
Just jumped up to see if you guys are talking about the testnet at all.
No.
Okay.
So
the testnets.
Not yet.
You guys want to talk about it now, or you want to talk about other things?
Is it Pleasure Island? No, we were just talking really more KPIs and I was giving a little bit of my thoughts on council goals and stuff. But yeah, we can talk testnet, unless anybody else wants to chat about the council stuff. Hopefully those anybody who's go ahead.
No, I mean, if Chris wants to talk about that, I think we should hear you a little bit. We've gone over a lot of stuff with governance, even in the last couple of meetings as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we kind of got the outline of what we're looking for with governance, in a sense.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Cool. I kind of want to hear what Chris has to say.
Let's go. Chris. The floor is yours.
Come in here, kick the door down, and start talking about testnet. Well, testnet is now dead. It's dead forever. Because nobody picked up and started actually running nodes. And so DragonZ reported in the main chat, it's like, testnet is dead. It is officially dead. So the thing that the council needs to decide is, what do they do going forward?
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, just for the people that don't know, this is the second time the testnet died. But yeah, I believe the council should figure that out. Like, do we spin up a new testnet and come up with incentives, or do we not need a testnet? information. Like nobody really used testnet over the time we've had it, unless I'm mistaken.
I mean, Dragon Z used it, but you might be the only one.
Yeah, I'm using mainnet for Dark5 beta right now. I mean, boy, is really cheap. It's basically free.
That is a fact, right?
I think that's so my recommendation is that instead of incentivizing the testnet, the council figures out a way to get free VOI in the hands of developers to build on actual mainnet. It'd be cheaper and better for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
I agree with Chris on this one.
Totally agree. It's better than spinning
I think
Pleasure Island.
Educate them. I didn't know a whole lot about it, and I went to the testnet, and I put some VOI there, but then I think a little bit better parameter for letting people know how to use it and what's going on.
There's honestly no reason to use testnet. Like I've never used testnet for any of my projects, so I don't know. There's not really a benefit right now. Like where it's, I have more VOI on mainnet than testnet.
Yeah, like in practice, what I've just been using mainnet because just the work involved of managing like a mainnet and testnet and doing all that migration is just more work. I wouldn't do that on Algorand because it's expensive. But yeah, I think that's a good idea to have something built in for like there are ways to get VOI, but like the fountain, but that's not enough. You should at least have like 10. So we should have like a process or delegates that have access to these developer I guess funds for developers that need tokens, right? I mean, I think that's a great idea.
I mean, what we're trying to like accomplish, right, is attract builders, right? So I mean, like, even if there was like, say, a sort of grant for builders that they could apply for on mainnet, I mean, that might draw in more people to build on mainnet. Seeing how the fees are pretty cheap, the mainnet is pretty cheap. It's kind of, I think it would be beneficial just to kind of have like a grant system for builders that people can apply to, like on chain, in a sense.
Honestly, to me, a grant system for that is for enough VOI to actually test on mainnet is not worth going through the grant process. Like it should be even easier where like a council member has petty cash where anytime somebody asks for it, they just give it to them and they just record it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like another. Yeah, I think there's one time when we had when we didn't have a lot of VOI, right? And we had that petty VOI bucket, and that makes a lot of sense. Have it and be able to record it. I think that's the main things.
Right.
Or you can just ask me and I'll give you 100 VOI.
Right. Or you can ask anybody. I'll give anybody that asks 100 VOI right now. So you know what to do that. So it's.
I mean, I don't need it.
Exactly. That's like we give it at this point, giving 100 VOI away to anybody is really easy.
Yeah, this is true, and I mean, it could fall onto the duty of any council member, right? Helping right? If we got the right notes doing 100 void, you think it means so.
Yeah, and 100 void is more than enough to get somebody going.
Yeah, no, this is true. This is true. I mean, if freaking, things were a little higher and, like fees were, more expensive, it would be a little different. But yeah, it's definitely feasible in those levels.
All right, guys.
For sure.
I'm just gonna put this out here. The cost to test, or have enough void test is 1 cent. If we have developers that don't have 1 cent, we have a problem with a lot of lens cent, right? So I think it's more like an issue of like what we do about testnet versus like not having enough void to do the testing. At least right now, because of the monetary value, right? But let's let's be real about the cost for testing, at least right now.
Right.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. And I now leave it up to potentially the future governors to figure it out. The only other thing related to that is that I think that we should shift up the timeline for updating the void nodes to the latest version of the AVM stack for 2 reasons. One, because the reason why the testnet did freeze is actually fixed in a current version, and also I would like to actually switch to the automatic block rewards rather than a manual system.
That makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, automation is usually the way to go.
Yeah, reduce unnecessary efforts, which I'm sure it's kind of a pain.
Well, they say time is money, right? So anything we can do to save time,
Yeah, I totally agree. Chris, while we have you up here, you want to give a House of Void update?
Sure. Things are really cooking with House of Void. We are in the process right now of rewriting the entire application to be from scratch to actually be an actual application rather than like a bunch of pieces of different things. The main motivation of this is we want a better user experience for the end user, and we learned a lot from the alpha so far. So we're working on building out the app, and with the idea of keeping everything on chain that is actually beneficial to be on chain, and everything that's not beneficial to be on chain and not actually bother with anymore. So things that were on chain before then really serve no purpose other than it being cool, or it was the achievement system, and we were looking at actually doing referrals on chain too. And once again, that was a stupid thing that really wouldn't benefit the end user. So making those actually more centralized, and then keeping all of the actual games and the games, and then the custody, everything completely on chain is really the focus going forward. We closed our round last week or 2 weeks ago, and we're able to actually start paying for designers and things like that. So we're going through the process of hiring the designers to design it out. Got the first logos today. Was not in love with any of them specifically, but at the very least, we I provided feedback to get better logos. But that's about it.
Is that a voice sweater that Shelly's wearing? Oh, Dorkify. There we go.
Dorkify. Nice.
The Dorkify merch. I know Rue's gonna be getting some more merch going here too. It was unsatisfactory. And also big big, huge win I just had on House of Oil. While I was listening to
I just saw that.
Yeah, 31K, man, it's nice.
Nice.
That's a big one.
Yeah, it is. Feels good.
I just keep putting more in and freaking lose.
You gotta try harder.
That's, yeah, I do. I'm actually really digging House of Oil. I'm trying to get my mom into it. She's really big into slots, so.
Okay, well, that's everything for me. I'm gonna go and,
Hey Chris, you said there was, you were looking at the House of Oil logos and you didn't like any of them? What if I did have a couple for you to have a look at?
if you want to take a swing, jump into the House of Void Discord, you can see what they've done already, and then you can give your thoughts and potentially shoot some over in front of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
No worries. All right, guys, keep up the good work.
Yep. And also, I think next on the open discussion or whatever, and then we'll close out this conversation here because I think we went through a lot. But yeah, Fury has committed to doing the live streams for the builders meeting and as well as the network committee meeting. He'll be live streaming in my place for next week. I won't be able to make this meeting next week, so I'll try to see if I can find somebody else to host while in my absence. Maybe Ruth, if I see you down there, maybe if you're able. If not, I'll see if Fury might be able to host. I'll share within the agenda and all that fun stuff too. But yeah, that is we got a recording of your builders meeting live on YouTube earlier, so I was able to at least watch that even though I was sleeping through it, Chris. So anyway, I think that's about it. Right? Looking forward to this next council and everybody else who's been continuing to participate and build in this ecosystem. So very excited about the future of Void, and with that, let's go. Have a good one, guys. I'll catch you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.